Hello, guys. Welcome to another Delegate Wranglers live show. This is Neil Thompson, from the Delegate Wranglers, the event industry's most engaged community. Thanks for tuning in again. Hello, Dom. How are you?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hot. I'm a
It's
bit hot. You're a
beautiful.
bit hot. You're a bit hot, aren't you? Tell us about your red
Well,
face.
I think, well, I say these things off camera knowing they're going to come back to bite me, but I can get you back. Yeah, I went for a run a little bit too late in the day. I only got back about, I don't know, maybe an hour or 45 minutes ago, and I'm still cooling down because it's so hot outside. And as I was getting back, I thought, this is such a bad idea.
You're right, mate. Anyway, okay.
I'm really good, thank you. I'm really good. Now, before we go any further, as you drop me in it with my red faceness, let's just discuss your romantic date last night, Neil.
Oh, I'm a classy guy. She's a lucky lady.
Di is a lucky lady. Tell what did you do last night, Neil?
Oh, I took her for a romantic evening to Costco. It was fantastic. We loved it.
Just because you can, right?
you know, I know all the tricks. Smooth talker. Anyway, why are we here? We are here to have, we've got Emma Gaymer from Bamboo Sales and Marketing Consultancy on to give us lots of tips and information about, looking at your competitors and how to stand out from the crowd and much, much more. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Should be good. Show number 17, mate. Wow.
Yeah, 17. I just looked down and caught a glimpse of myself as we are going out live on Facebook. I'm literally bright red. It's so embarrassing.
Getting a warm off you. Everyone warm your hands on that.
I know, right? I'm not going to be on camera too much after the intro. Yeah, episode 17. It's been great, and we've had such a great run with some really great guests and some really good content. And I know you've had feedback off camera as well, as have I, about the shows and how useful people are finding it. So it's been
absolutely
good.
Tons of feedback. We were even asked about it on when I was doing that talk last week with at CogX. We were even asked about that.
Who was that with again?
No, just some high flyer. But what I'm trying to say is, the news is filtering through to them as well about what we're doing. So it's really good to be doing it. I mean, we love it as well, don't we, mate? I mean, it's not like it's a chore. We absolutely love it.
No, I think we're both really enjoying it. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? It'll be really cool when we're actually at an event, whether it's the meeting show, if you can do something there, or whenever the next event is that we can do it. To be able to do this live from an event will be really good fun. Just even if it's just
I like that idea.
Hour. Yeah,
I like that idea. People could abuse us live.
Instead of me getting it from you, perhaps you can take some of it.
I'll take some of it, yeah. Anyway,
you've got a few things that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, loads and loads and loads. So I'm going to get my list out because I've got to do my newsreader thing here.
Yes.
So first of all, coming up this Thursday, we've got the Lockdown Social. We are going to Ibiza. So if you haven't signed up, please sign up. I'll try and put the link into the chat in a second. We've got about 110 signed up already, so I'm really looking forward to that. I've got lots of surprises, loads of good stuff. I mean, we're just working on it now, and it's looking really. It's going to be a good night. Trust me.
I think it's going to be quite a lot of fun.
Yes. Then a couple of
the last one was pretty good, wasn't it?
The last one was amazing. A couple of things going on our website. So obviously, everybody, we haven't launched it officially, but we've got a new website which we're kind of doing a soft launch at the moment. So everybody check it out. We have got a free calendar listing, which is for the whole of June. We're giving like a free offer. Anyone can list an event. Your event doesn't have to be in June, by the way. Your event could be anytime. So get them all in now, but that free offer will stop at the end of June. So we're doing that to try and help everybody out with the lockdown problems. Not only does it go on the calendar, we put it on a slideshow that then goes on the group so people can see it and find out more about it. So I think Dom, with a bit of luck, might put a caption up on the screen there.
There's your nice list your event in our new event calendar. Free.
Oh, yeah.
Offer ends in June 2020.
Done by me in Canva. So we've also got, as well, on there, we've got a free listing service for suppliers and freelancers. So please go onto there and just look under supplier or planners, and you'll see the listing service. So you can list yourself for free. That's going to go on until the 1st of October, and then you can either stay as a free one or you can go into a super duper slightly upgraded one. So we'll give you more details about that, but get yourself listed. It's totally free. We've got a new feature that we're launching tonight called Check This Out. That's going to be launched on the group. So what we're going to do with that is bringing you different aspects of business and social media that you might not be aware of, giving you some tips and hints. So look out for that. It's coming on tonight. Can't wait to launch that. We're all about new things. So obviously get in touch with us as well. No, get in touch if there's anything you want to feature on there. It's going to be cool. Yeah, it's going to be kind of, just occasional, but it may end up a weekly thing. But yeah, we're really looking forward to that. Anyway, on with the show. So yes. I am delighted to have Emma with us. Emma Gaymer from Bamboo Sales and Marketing Consultancy. I hope I got that right. Hi, Emma. Don, this is your cue to introduce Emma. Hi, Emma. Emma
is already on the screen. Emma's already on the screen, and microphone's unmuted. I am one step ahead of you.
Oh, we are.
Hi, guys.
Tell you what, Don. 17 episodes in, we're nailing it.
I think I did this for a living, right?
Hi.
Hi, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a bit warm, just like both of you were saying. Definitely.
Yeah. You definitely didn't get the memo about the black.
No, I don't ever wear black. I'm all about the colour I am.
With me and Dom are always wearing black, slimming.
Yeah,
blue
that
today.
One, yeah.
Anyway, Emma, so thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh no, pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Really delighted to have you on. Do you want to give us a bit of background about yourself and how you got into doing what you do so well?
Yeah, of course. And stop me if I'm going on, because I can talk. So I mean, right. I started working in the events industry when I was only 14. Waitressing for a catering company, going to weddings and private parties and everything. And back then I was doing like 14-hour shifts on my feet, I just absolutely loved it. And I've always had a fascination with hotels as well. Like really, when I was at school, I kind of really wanted to know like what goes on behind the scenes in a hotel, how are they run, and so my career, like that's kind of where it started, and it's gone on from there. And so I did the usual kind of route round kind of different departments in hotels and all of that sort of thing. And then it wasn't until sort of around university time, graduation, I was thinking, I really want to get into sales and marketing. Yeah. So since then, I have worked in various different roles, kind of mainly like sales and marketing roles. I guess the running theme with my kind of background is that I've always worked on the full kind of end-to-end sales process, and kind of been responsible for like all areas of marketing in some way, shape or form. So I've got kind of an all-round knowledge, if you like, of the whole area. And basically last year, I was working at RSA House with the team there, kind of in the event side of things and sales and marketing. And I've been thinking for some time, like I really wanted to start my own business. Didn't really know when and what it would look like, but thought, well, I've worked in various venues, different parts of the world, and always in the kind of similar roles in terms of looking after sales and marketing teams and how to kind of grow your business, and thought, well, I love doing that. Why don't I put my experience into a consulting capacity where I can help more businesses? So that's what I've been doing, basically. So I will work with my clients to revise their strategy and their action plans related to their whole, sales and marketing strategy and effort and everything, with the intention to grow their business, basically.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Wow, sounds really exciting. I've just realised as well, Dom. Should we give a shout out to some people who are watching as well whilst we're
yeah, shall we? Let me take over the screen and let's have a quick look and see who is already in the room, because we always say hello to people, although I can't scroll back. So if we missed you right at the beginning, then sorry. Jane, good afternoon. Janice Finity, good afternoon. Naomi, nice to see you. Actually, Naomi would be really interesting to talk to at some point, because she's fairly new in the event industry. She's really active on social media.
Okay.
Jane again. Johanna Schmeekel, hi. Jude, nice to see you. Tuesdays are tops because of the DW live sessions. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jude. That's very kind. Yeah, Craig McGee, good afternoon. Craig, nice to have you. Have you actually got time to be here this time? Sorry for the delay in keeping you last week.
phone in.
Clockwork Orange, please. I'm not seeing what Clockwork Orange,
I don't
please.
know.
I'm not seeing them there this year. Don't know what you mean, Jane. Sorry. Chrissy, good afternoon. She's talking about I saw her talking about the social. Amanda Strevens, good afternoon. Amanda, how are you? And Paul Della Ross, nice to see you, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming in. As usual, please send your questions in for Emma or for me or for Dom. Just put them all on the chat, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. Hello to everybody watching on there are other channels as well. YouTube, we've got Twitter, got LinkedIn. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Anyway, Emma. So
Yes.
tell us a bit about what was it like your first steps when you were first starting? Was it difficult getting your first few clients, and moving from being working in the industry to actually telling people about it?
Well, I was quite lucky. I had a bit of freelance work initially when I left kind of my permanent role, and that sort of really confirmed for me that that was the right step forward. And I sort of set myself a goal really to kind of launch by Christmas, and then sort of hit the ground running in January when off the back of the kind of really busy run of events, because my specialist area is really kind of hospitality and events. I have worked with other in other areas and things, but that's where kind of my passion is. So no, I actually I had a really nice group of clients at the beginning of this year, mainly hotels, kind of more sort of independent small group hotels. I had a nice little pipeline, and obviously, things kind of got turned on their head, a few months ago. Like with everyone's going through lots of change, but it's been great. It's meant that I've actually been able to do loads of things that I wouldn't have done before, and I've really kind of like stepped out of my comfort zone, and doing things like this, for example, is quite new to me. But now, I've had experience of kind of doing sort of reopenings of hotels and venues. And I've also done a new opening as well. And I thought that's kind of where my niche will be. So actually, it's funny kind of that now we're at this time where a lot of venues and hotels are moving towards their kind of relaunching and reopening, and that is an area where I can really help a lot. So it's good. It's good in a way.
I was just going to say that this is perfect. I mean, for you, time for people to work with you now, really, because I keep banging on about this every week, and I know this, we're doing this to help people upskill, but the perfect time to look at, you very rarely get a chance in such a period of time to look at what you're doing in depth, like forensically.
Exactly.
And decide whether you need to try something else, do a new direction, whatever. Look at your marketing, look at your competitors. I know you're going to talk about that a bit later. But it's perfect timing for that, isn't it?
No, completely. I know, because there's so many meaty tasks when it comes to kind of your business strategy and marketing, and they get pushed down the priority list naturally. If you've got the operational business and you're looking after clients day to day, those kinds of strategic meetings just get pushed back. So actually, yes, it has been a really good time to actually sit back and go, okay, hang on. Is this working? Like, what can we do differently?
Put your foot on the brake. Yeah.
We're all having to. So
fantastic. So would it be worth getting into? I know you're going to give us a little bit of training, a little bit of shows a few slides, and challenge people to look at a few things about what they're doing. That's why we're all here, after all. Not just for mine and Dom's witty banter, as good as it is.
That is obviously a big part of the show.
That's half of the show, yeah.
You're like
we'll stop having guests on soon. Just me and Dom. I'm only kidding, by the way. Everyone's tuning off.
No one wants that. Not even I want that.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So I don't know if that's a good point, Emma, to stop, and you can start telling us some of your skills, some of the things we need to know, be looking at.
Yeah, of course.
So, by the magic of technology,
by the magic of PowerPoint and Dominic's technology, not mine.
Yeah, I've got this. We're all good.
Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about marketing differentiation, and hopefully, this will help you to think about a few things that you can have a look at to make sure you're really kind of ready for when the market sort of picks up again. So just to kind of summarize a little bit about what we're going to cover just in this next session. So just to talk about how you can know and understand your competitors, trying to find out sort of what you can identify that is most valuable to your target market, how you can make yourself kind of more, make it more obvious to your target market why they should use you, and actually by having an effective capability statement, that's one big step towards doing that. So why are we doing all of this? Just a little graphic there just to show, obviously you want to drive leads, you want to convert those leads, you want to grow your sales, and in turn grow your profit. So it's all about, for me, I'm always talking about sustainable and profitable growth.
Yeah.
So I have had a look at a really nice report that was done by a company called Crayon, and they work in the area of competitive intelligence. And they did some research in December last year of 1,000 marketing professionals that work in the area of competitive intelligence. So just to kind of set the scene about why this is important, I thought I'd just show a couple of outputs from their research. So first question is, would you say your industry has become more or less competitive in the last 3 years? So you can see there it's quite obvious, most people would agree that yes, it has become more competitive, with 48% saying much more competitive. And the next stat is on competitive intelligence, and is it critical to the success of an organization? And again, mostly agreeing with that statement, with kind of 41% saying that they strongly agree.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm just going to go through some stages in terms of how you would kind of carry out a competitor analysis. And this is quite thorough. If you do it properly, it can be quite time consuming. Obviously, first stage is you want to identify who your competitors are. And depending on, how well your sales team are probing customers, there may well be like a wealth of information sat in your CRM system that you'll be able to use to run reports to kind of identify who your competitors are. So, going through the sort of reactive sales process, ideally you want, salespeople should be sort of asking at the point of inquiry, who else are you considering? Have you got any other proposals yet? Is there anyone else that you've used before that you might go back to? Like those kinds of questions. And then ideally that sort of thing should be recorded, or at the point where, customer is making a decision about who they want to use, and you're kind of following up with them, and perhaps they say, oh, actually, we've decided to use another company. Well, are you going to ask them, hopefully, who is that? What is it about them that made you choose them? And kind of, the sales team should be recording if you've lost business, why is that? And who is it to? So then you can pull you should be able to pull a report, and you've got a list of kind of like why you've lost business and who you've lost it to. The other great way, of course, is our friend Google. And just as you would find, look for something online, you Google some like keywords that are associated with whatever it is that you sell, and see kind of who else comes up in the search results to give an indication of who your competitors are. And then if you wanted to get a bit more technical, you could employ a marketing agency who might actually do a full report, which is kind of normally using keyword searches. So actually, they'll sort of see what words you're ranking for, what words your competitors are ranking for, and give a kind of report based on that you can use from there in terms of your SEO and such like.
Right. Cool.
And then there's the whole like review third-party website area as well. So looking again on places like TripAdvisor or places like booking.com, for example, to see kind of like who comes up in search results when you're looking for something similar to your business.
Right, cool.
All makes sense?
Yes, definitely.
Good.
Dom, makes sense for Dom, as he's just listening.
All good. I'm the voice in the background. I'm not on screen.
So one thing I quite often get asked is, well, how many competitors should you be comparing yourself with? And that kind of really depends on what it is that you're comparing. So, like, for example, if it was Delegate Wranglers, you'd probably have less competitors to compare with than, say, for example, Dominic would with Stream, don't you think? I would think.
Yeah,
at the moment.
I guess so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So it just depends whether you want to compare like your most direct competitors, people who or companies that are going after the same market, or whether you think that actually there's some kind of more like secondary competitors who might have a version of what you do, but maybe not quite the same, or perhaps they've got a slightly different audience. But
So,
I would say,
can I jump in with a quick question?
Yeah.
So when you're saying looking at your competitors and looking at these tools to identify them, is there anything? I mean, you may be coming to it. Is there anything we should be doing, in terms of like drawing up a spreadsheet and comparing all the kind of things that they do?
Yes.
Is that the kind of thing that you mean, rather than just looking at them and thinking, oh yeah, it's a nice website? Or
you have just introduced my next slide, so that's fab.
Sorry.
I knew that was going to happen, Neil.
Sorry.
So no, don't
spoiler
be sorry.
alert.
Don't be sorry. That means that the flow of this presentation is working.
I'm paying attention. You see.
We didn't plan this, did we? No.
No.
Yeah, and you can tell.
So yes, a spreadsheet is the best thing. I love a spreadsheet. So yeah, in that spreadsheet, you're going to have your list of competitors, which is going to be, I reckon, say like 10 max, because otherwise it just gets really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have your kind of maybe criteria listed of the things that you think are important to compare with your business. And then when you do your research, you can just like fill out the boxes, and it gives a really easy way of kind of trying to pinpoint where there's differences.
Yeah.
So in terms of what you're trying to look for when you're comparing, I'm going to go back to kind of, the lovely 4 Ps. I'm sure you've heard of the 4 Ps in marketing.
Price, promotion.
Yeah. So you're going to want to look at kind of what is it that they're offering? What features and benefits does it have? How does it function? What's its style? What's their branding like? What service element do they have to their product? And sort of what level of service? And then in terms of pricing, like how open are they with their pricing? Is it completely out there for everyone to see? Do you have to inquire? Are there a whole bunch of special offers around? And also, what are the terms and conditions that they put forward in terms of working with them or buying them or whatever? And just kind of really looking for like, what are the value? Where's the value? Like, what are they saying? It is kind of the main benefit of whatever it is.
Sure.
And then kind of promotion wise, where are they advertising? Do they do much sort of stuff in the press? Are they in the media? Have they got social media? What channels are they on? How active are they? And things like, do they actually have a sales team in place to support them? What other sort of channels are they using? Like, how many third-party listings have they got? So it's really kind of just, looking at all these things and thinking, well, what's most important for your market? Where do you find that you get the most business through, and where are your competitors placed? So you're really wanting to like use this to help scope out like your USPs versus theirs.
I guess you can put yourself into that grid as well, can't you, as well, to kind of compare where you are with them all. Yeah,
exactly. And then the next stage is you're going to have a lovely bunch of research in a nice spreadsheet, and you're going to want to have a look at it and try and form some kind of analysis from it. So if you wanted to, you could do a SWOT where you actually map out strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of your own business, and then you do that for the other businesses, and that way you can highlight what you've got versus them.
But
essentially you want to look at kind of what is it that that you do that they don't, or that they do that you don't, and why is that? And what's your expertise? What's theirs? Where do you see that they might have some shortcomings versus you?
And I guess there's no one who's perfect on everything.
No,
some people are good at some
absolutely.
things, and some people are good at others. You included, yourself.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's things like, if they're paying for digital advertising, what does that look like? How good is their organic search results? Are they writing loads of blogs and articles? How frequently are they out there? You can get a good sense when you do a really good competitor analysis of kind of like how much you think they might be investing in marketing to some extent. And you sort of wanting to see, basically where you can stand out from them. Where are you going to differentiate? And you want to think as well about like whether you can do that just through a unique tone of voice or something related to your brand.
And I guess this applies to both sides of the event industry as well. Not only suppliers and hotels and venues, but also freelancers or agencies or whoever, really. You can look at yourself and compare yourself to your competitors, can't you?
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer in being friends with your competitors as well, because actually if you're in touch with them, you can actually get a lot of information that you might not otherwise get, and you just never know when you might be able to actually end up collaborating with your competitors and doing something that's really beneficial.
I'm sure we've all done it tons of times. I'm sure we have. Agree with you on that.
And like sign up to their newsletters and follow them on social media, because actually that way you're constantly feeding some information in with what they're up to, rather than having to each time just go searching for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know, I'm going to jump in on that whole competitor thing as well, because and there's a good example in the group, and I really hope you don't mind me saying, but on paper, Paul Butterworth and him from Orchard, me at Stream, compete in a number of areas, and we end up posting on the same posts in Delegate Wranglers, for example. However, Orchard are significantly bigger than Stream and do significantly bigger events, and there are some things that we just as a company can't handle. And by the same token, there are some smaller events where Paul and his team either might not suit, their kit might be too big, and so we complement their offering as well. We've spoken a number of times at events over the years, over the last year or so, about exchanging work and how we can move things around between us, and that's going to happen at some point. So while we are competitive, actually there's a really good opportunity, and I've got that with another company also in this group, actually, JobViddy. Jonathan, if you're watching, I don't know if you are at all, but exactly the same there. They do a very, very different style and type of work than I do, and so we're able to move work around between us, which is great.
Fantastic.
No, that's a perfect example. And it's like when I was working in a venue, and our capacity in our rooms was kind of on the smaller scale, but we had, a venue down the road that was more of a kind of conference and exhibition venue. So they didn't really have the sort of smaller boardrooms and private dining type offering. And because, we both kind of had small teams and there was no like centralized sales and marketing support, we wanted to be more proactive and have sort of some, business development going on, but neither could sort of afford to have like a full-time BDM working. So actually, by sharing one, they were going out to like agencies and stuff and able to sell both venues together, because they weren't competing in the same market really for the same kind of size events and things like that. So you can, that's another example of how it can work.
Yes.
I was just going to jump in there, Emma, and just send a message out to the guys in the chat room. How is it? Are you guys doing this regularly? Looking at your competitors. Are you kind of doing these kind of analysis? Emma's talking about. It'd be good to know if this is the kind of thing you do regularly, or it's just now and then, or it's something you vaguely keep an eye on. Because I'm sure you're an advocate of doing this. Is there a kind of how
Are you
often they
you're
should be
asking
doing it.
me, or you've asked the group?
No,
Or both?
I'm asking the group. I'm asking the group.
Okay, cool.
But the question to you though is
Yeah.
how often should people do that kind of thing as well? The
Do you know
competitor
what?
analysis.
Do you know what, Neil? Everyone's going to think that we've rehearsed this.
Have we done it again?
Guess what's coming?
Oh, I tell you what, I should be a marketer. Tell you what. I always knew. I always knew.
So I've got some numbers here, right?
Go on.
So you're asking, how often should you be kind of doing a bit of, competitor research and actually doing a proper analysis? So these numbers relate to the answer to that based on research that was done in this kind of the one I was referring back to earlier by Crayon. So, I mean, if we're talking anything between daily to annually, where do you think these numbers might sit?
All right. Let's ask a group. So what are we saying?
So we're saying in terms of how often you would do competitor analysis, anywhere between daily and annually, it basically each of these numbers relates to something between daily and annually.
Right, go on, Dom. You're first. So.
I mean, I've worked in industries where it's done daily.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do the I don't want to do the catch-all statement of it's industry specific. However, I do think it is.
Okay.
Neil, what's your thought?
On average,
I reckon.
On average,
I'm going to go. This is on average.
Let's get the numbers. Let's have a look at the numbers. I'm going to go monthly.
Wait, what you think the highest percentage is monthly?
I don't. I think 10%. I think about 10% of people do it monthly, if that's what the question is.
Okay. Has anyone else chipped in with anything?
Yeah. Jane Kelly said 5%.
5% do it how often?
Do it how often, Jane? Are you saying monthly, daily? It's a really tough question.
It is a really tough question.
Okay, so do you want to find me to tell you?
Go on.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. 30% do it daily. Wow. Is that what people actually do, or what you recommend?
Well, the thing is, if you're just keeping an eye on your competitors, like I was saying before, in terms of social media and that kind of thing, then essentially yes, that is daily. But if you're doing like a bit of, if you're doing like a deep dive into it and doing a proper analysis, Don's right what he said in terms of it depends. It does depend on the business, but I think historically I would have said minimum every 6 months. But at a time like we're in now, where there's so much change going on so quickly, and so many companies are, I'm not going to use the word that everyone uses, but you know what I'm talking about, what they're doing. They're diversifying.
Oh, very good. Very good. That was a nice avoidance.
Some people hate that word.
What, the P word?
Yeah, that word.
The P word.
Not happening today.
So I prefer diversification personally. So I think, because there's a lot of that going on at the moment, it's more important to keep an eye on your competitors, because actually they could be just flinging in a whole new product out of the blue. And, like, for example, are you familiar with what Brewdog have done recently?
Recently, no.
Like,
what?
So like at the start of lockdown, they started producing hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah.
So no one probably would have seen that one coming.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
It's the same with the gin distillers. It's the same with all of them, though. It's just finding a way to keep something going through a factory, probably.
Yeah. So I think definitely at the moment, I would say weekly is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a couple of We got a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Well, let me take the comments. So we've had Paul De La Ross. I look after different businesses, but always look at competitors' work with them. Look at competitors, work with them lots, as it's so much best to have them on side than not. Different businesses demand different scales of watching. Some I check daily. Okay. Daniela Bikulis, no structure really, but on a daily basis, we have a look at what our competitors are doing on social media. I follow all what I would consider to be people from within the same part of the sector. I wouldn't necessarily say competitors, but I do follow lots of people on different social media channels, and I keep an eye on it just to see what they're doing. And I think that was one of the things that you mentioned earlier. And it seems to be that others are doing exactly the same. Jane says, I look, but I don't do in depth. And I thought I saw another one as well. Oh,
yeah, it's from Craig. Craig, yeah, go on. No, you go on.
We have set systems up in businesses recently for panoptic events. I never used to look at competitors as we worked with them. Now I get a weekly report from my marketing team of what's happening across our closest competitors and friendly businesses. I totally agree to work with competitors on strategic alliance. 100% of nothing is nothing. It's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Craig.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to move on, if that's all right.
Yeah,
especially because I realised there was a typo on that slide, which is embarrassing.
Quickly move on.
I wasn't going to point it out.
Yeah, it's like I had a bit of a stutter in that slide or something, but yeah. Okay, so I said I'd talk about capability statement. As just a quick kind of, what is that? Well, it's a promotional or marketing statement about your business and capabilities and skills that advertises who you are and what you do. But it needs to be written powerfully and persuasively in order to differentiate your business from your competitors and basically reinforce what value you're presenting in the minds of everyone kind of existing and new customers.
Can I jump in there?
Yeah.
I've got a question for you about capability statements. I am going to shut up in a minute. But I'm always confused between a strapline, a capability statement, and a mission statement.
Okay.
And I know. Well, I kind of know what a strapline is.
Okay.
But is there a difference between a capability statement and a mission statement, or are they the same thing essentially?
They're all different.
Okay. And do we all need them? I think we almost sit here going, have we got them all, and do I need them?
Strapline's a good one because it's just a sentence.
Yeah, we got one of them.
And a mission statement is quite corporate.
Okay.
So that's more about, what are you striving for in the business? Maybe it would be summarized in a paragraph, but
okay.
I see that as being used more internally than externally, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
So your mission statement might be a bit more about what the business is striving for, and it's like a goal for everyone working in the company, whereas your capability statement is very customer focused.
It's very outward facing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your
mission statement where I've had examples of it is all been in the corporate world. It's very rarely been in small business. Or small business trying to be corporate. Mission statement and values tend to be things that employees are expected to uphold as part of their daily activities for that business.
Correct. Exactly.
So quick question to the group. Drop us a line of you guys have got them, or you're thinking about having them, or you've seen some good examples of it. Let us know. Sorry, Emma, carry on.
That's all right. So traditionally, a capability statement would be like a one-pager about your business. So think of it a bit like a CV kind of thing. So just to go on to a bit more detail about what the capability statement should include. If it was like in a sort of one-page format, you might use it in response to an inquiry. You might use it as a kind of giveaway if you've been to a face-to-face meeting. So basically the key thing here is trying to highlight what you have got that is hard for your competitors to either replicate or feasibly claim.
Right. Okay.
Okay. But then also making sure that what's there is tailored to your audience, to your target market.
Yeah.
And you might want to kind of, in terms of like trying to think about differentiators, that might be something related to like the quality of your product or the extent of the service that you provide. It might be something to do with technical capabilities. It might be to do with maybe some, like whether you dominate in the market. So you might want to shout about that. Or perhaps you've got like really good advocacy from your customer base. So you might have like really good ratings on online reviews, and you've got like a score out of 5 or 10 or whatever that you want to shout about. Or it might just be that actually your brand has got some real kind of like unique flair to it. But basically, it's kind of like what's important to your customer and how can you best show value. And it's about being distinctive and then like positioning yourself in that kind of differentiated way. So what I wanted to do is kind of talk about this in respect to your website, because like a capability statement as a one pager, you know, you might give it away, use it for an inquiry response, but actually then the absolute best part of that statement should be ideally what you use as your opener on your homepage. Right. And the reason for that is because of these statistics. So I've got another guessing game for you here.
Go on.
So these numbers are related to views on a website, average stats. Have you got any idea what they might mean?
The half a second is the amount of, I reckon, is the amount of time it takes for someone to decide whether or not they're going to stay on the website or not, based on what they first see.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't put myself on camera there, but that's the voice from the god says that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the 5.59.
Any
Neil,
guesses?
you can have a shot at that one.
I'm going to guess at that one and say that's the length of time before they decide whether they're going to leave or not, based on what they've just read.
Okay. Well, very good guesses. So yeah.
Are they right though?
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're pretty bang on, to be honest. Yeah. So you know, dominate. You're right. Yeah. Initial impressions. That's 0.5, half a second. That's how long you've got to make an initial impact. And you know, first impressions are 94% design related. And then the 5.59 seconds is the average amount of time that people spend reading content on a homepage.
Wow.
Okay.
So you've got to hit them over the head with it, haven't you?
So you've got to hit them. Yeah, basically, yeah. So it has to be good. It has to capture their attention. And just
I've got a question.
Yeah.
What about like a website that might intrigue you? You know, like, is there anything to be said for that? You know, you might you know, it might make you think about, you know, oh, that looks interesting. What is that?
I think you've just done it again.
Just saying, hit them on the head. I'm going right.
We're going to empty chair you next time we have a guest on, Neil.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not allowed to be in.
Definitely. I'll just put a bit of gaffer tape over my mouth.
I'll tell you why. Because the word you used, intrigue, is so relevant to the next slide. It's unbelievable. Right. So I just thought, for a bit of fun, I'd include a website that I think's got a really out there design that you'd either love or hate. You'd either look at it and be like, no way, I'm off, or you'd be like, you know, probably like you're going to be, and go, oh, that's really intriguing.
Right. Wow.
So I came across this website, and I suggest, go and have a look at it and see if you either love it or hate it. Because it's got a lot going on, is all I'm going to say, in terms of its design. And you might go on there.
When was this built?
It's current.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. I mean, it might be recent.
It's pretty current.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So go and have a look and see if you think it's really engaging or not. But but yeah, so I thought, just for the purpose of today and the kind of points I've been trying to get across about how important it is that your content is really engaging, and the first couple of sentences that people read on your website are so important, that I do a bit of homework.
Yeah.
So I went and did a bit of homework in terms of looking for, first of all, I was looking for a photo booth, and then I went looking for a venue for an event. And I've put on here 3 examples of companies that I came across when I was looking for a photo booth. The first 2 sentences that I read on their website. And what I'd like to do is, if people can read and sort of see what they think, and see which one you think has actually got the most impact, which one looks like it's had some thought and time invested in it, which one is really like hitting home on the value proposition. And the one on the left is absolutely shocking, I have to say.
Are these sorry, did you say these are real examples?
They are real. I have obviously discreetly X'd out who they are.
I was just checking through again to make sure you'd actually done it all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah. So the one on the left, have you discovered the grammatical and spelling errors?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
I just can't believe it. And also, how long is that sentence?
No, yeah.
So literally, they're 2 sentences, and I'm thinking, geez, how much can you pack into one sentence?
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the one on the right at the top.
Handel the composer gets a name check though. He'd be delighted.
Who?
Sorry, it's in the first one. Okay, so we'll look at so top right.
Top right, I think is really impressive. I think that, to me, says we've invested some time and thought in this.
Yeah. Okay.
And the one at the bottom on the right is just has nothing unique about it. Like, what does it tell you about, what they do in any kind of level of detail?
So it's about getting the balance right, isn't it? About, making people intrigued, but not too boring or too long or too, incorrect. Bad spelling.
Do you want some more examples? Shall I move on?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so this is looking for venues, and see what you think to these. Which one do you have a little read and tell me, like, which one do you find most appealing? And anyone that's listening, like, what, feel free to like chip in the comments as well.
Yeah, chip in, guys. Yeah.
I've just seen Adam comment, nervously reads photo booth website copy.
So these are for venues, price to suit your budget.
They are for venues.
You see, I like a bullet point, so I quite like the one on the left.
Yeah.
Because if I find it easy to read rather than reading a big load of text, which we're all guilty of. I'm guilty of it.
I think the one on the left with the bullet points definitely is good, but the use of the bullet points, the actual what's there in the content of them, could be much better in terms of its impact. Because, when you're looking for a venue, you pretty much get a feel for what type of venue it is and what events it accommodates, but actually you could have bullet pointed the unique features or elements of the venue in terms of like catering, audiovisual, etc.
Yeah, I think there's certain things you would expect a venue to have, as in meeting rooms and be able to do conferences and whatever, training courses. So
the visuals will generally kind of indicate sort of what type of event you would accommodate.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But what's interesting about a couple of these is that they mention price, and it's not often that you see price mentioned in the first sentence.
You mean that they refer to it as a price to suit your budget?
One says a price to suit your budget, and one says a price you won't believe. Which I'm not sure about that terminology.
Yeah, because saying that it's cheap, it's less expensive, could also mean that it's cheap.
Yeah,
You want something to be the right money for the right kind of product, don't you?
yeah.
Really.
There was 3 words that came up when I was looking across all these kind of different websites. One was perfect, one was unique, and one was exceptional.
Okay.
Just I
Yeah,
thought
that's
quite interesting.
Yeah, maybe some
But yeah,
research has been done on them words.
so which
Cool.
one do you think's more appealing?
For me, I like the one on the left with the bullet points.
Yeah.
For me.
I would. Yeah, I think I would say exactly the same, purely because I'm a bit of a fan of a bullet point as well, and it just looks neater. It looks easier to read.
Yeah.
By that point, I would more likely read that just because it's easier to read than I would the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You got me that far.
Definitely.
So I really just wanted to kind of use these examples to kind of highlight the importance of good copy, as we call it, in a marketing speak. And how much it can kind of like change people's mind and sort of help push them kind of through that sales funnel to the point of, inquiring. And, a lot of companies do invest in copywriters to try and get that kind of that flair into their writing. But there also has to be like a bit of a balance as well with, what your customers are looking for, what they want to see, but also then thinking about search engine optimization and certain keywords that you might need to incorporate in terms of your ranking. So it's actually, I think, writing content for a website is more complicated than it might seem on the surface sometimes.
It's really hard. It's really hard. Well, I remember, and it's interesting because I'm going through this process right now. I'm having a new website built, and the website that I wrote for Stream was written just over 2 years ago, I think, maybe about just under 2 years ago, maybe about July 2018, in advance of us starting in September 2018. And there isn't a word on there that I still use, particularly in the way we communicate with clients now, and in the way that we talk about the business in the way we talk about what we do. That said, while I recognize that the copy on the current website isn't what I want it to be, the job of writing it how I know it needs to be is a completely different matter. I have actually engaged a copywriter to help me, because I know, just picking up bits of video, like even how I talk about Stream when I'm doing videos out on my own social media channels or stuff that we pre-record. I know the tone that I've found, and I know the way that I like communicating with clients. And I know there's a few key phrases within that I like to use and that I do use. But actually pushing it out into something clear and concise and cohesive on 4 or 5 pages without it being pages and pages long is actually really difficult.
And it's fun, like, a lot of my clients have said to me, oh, we just need fresh eyes. And actually having someone involved who's detached from your business, they can really, you're so bogged down in the detail day to day, they can just get like a fresh take on what it is that you're about and how to communicate it, which is really like, beneficial.
Yes.
Well, there's something I've been reading about quite a fair bit recently as well, is when you're what you just made me think of it, Dom, when you were talking then, was whether when you're writing things like this, copy for things, whether you're writing it for the many or writing it for the few. And the thinking is changing. But the thinking is changing now that you go to the few. Better to target the people who really want your product, rather than trying to explain to everybody what your product is. If you understand what I mean. I've just been hearing a lot about it in podcasts and YouTube videos I've been watching. So
it's true. It's just the political link with that exact phrase, isn't it?
So Neil, do you know what's coming next?
No,
you've got all the other sides, right?
No, I'm keeping stum.
I'm gonna wrap up now, because we're coming to the end of my my presentation.
Cool.
So just to round up, really, like, just to say, how important it is to know your customer, know what's important to them, do your industry or kind of look at industry research as well as doing your own. have a really like good grasp on who your competitors are, how you're different. And I do recommend, you know, regularly kind of monitoring what your competitors are up to, because it means you can more likely get ahead of the game and do something different rather than be more of a follower and just be kind of like monitoring and reacting. You know, figure out your competitive advantage. SWOT analysis helps with that. Have a very compelling capability statement. But of course, all of this has to be backed up with great salespeople and a fantastic customer journey.
I think marketing helps you kind of get people across the line, and then it's up to you to deliver with service. And you know, like you say, the customer experience is that's what it's all about. You know, but marketing can certainly help you get to the start line, if you like, of anything like that.
Definitely.
Fab.
I'm just gonna jump in because Craig's just made a really good point, and I've actually benefited from this in the past, albeit not with Stream, but in the past. I'd recommend speaking to local chambers for mentors and business growth companies in your local councils. They can put you in touch with mentors. They pay for it, and the help you get is massive. Amazing when someone looks at your business. Fresh eyes is a perfect way to describe it, Emma. The first time someone described my own business back to me helped me really understand. The mentors understood the vision. It's really interesting. I've used we may have just lost audio for a second. I've used a mentor in the past, one through my local chamber of commerce and one that I've paid for, and it is really interesting to get that feedback. And it's something that I've considered. The other thing that that I do with a group of friends quite frequently is we hold accountability sessions where we sit down and we each appraise each other's businesses, where we're at right now and the activity that we've got going on, and getting that feedback from other people with small businesses is really, really useful. We were doing it quite frequently before lockdown. We've not done it so much, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to those sessions, because again, that opportunity to just step back and say, right, this is what I've done in the last week or the last 2 weeks. Give me your honest opinion.
That's a really good idea.
Brutal, and they're brutal, but it's a really good time.
And it's good to like continue networking as well, you know, with your competitors, just like you would at events and such like. So and kind of you can relate to each other as well in terms of the current challenges, and it's, you know, it's quite comforting being able to speak to someone who's kind of in the same boat, you know, knows what you're going through. So
absolutely.
Fantastic. So what we'll do, Emma, is we will put any links to any things that we've been talking about today in the wrap up, which will go on the group a bit later. Now, I know before we go, we're talking about you might be able to give us a kind of special offer for people on the group who might want to take out some of the courses with yourselves, do some training.
So I have got a special offer, and this is it on this slide. So I know, you know, there's a lot of time and energy involved in some of this kind of work, in terms of looking at your customer journey, looking at who your competitors are, thinking about your pricing, thinking about your capability statement, you know, thinking about how your business is presented digitally online, because what I often see with my clients is that actually there's a bit of a gap between what you would experience like in person in that, you know, and what you would sort of the impression you would get online. So I do this thing called either Smarketing or Marketing 360, depending on the focus. And it's a 360 because it is looking at it from an internal and an external point of view, and also like if you've got suppliers that you work with, how do they see your organization? So you're kind of getting a really good all-round kind of approach on the business. And then I will like basically take a look at, you know, how the business is kind of marketed, the budget, where that's going, what the ROI is, you know, and then basically I'll do that full work kind of for you, and give you back like a really concise report that will have sort of like a little like traffic light display of kind of things that are working really well, things that you can tweak and to get really good results, and then maybe things that you can try that are new if you want to kind of do something in terms of diversifying and looking at different markets. And then I'll kind of like have a real good discussion around that and present it back. So that is a little offer that I've put out during lockdown.
Perfect,
And if you have a look on the Bamboo Consultancy website, There's also a download on there about how you can improve your conversion, and there's some good blogs as well with like top tips and things. So and also sorry, I was just going to say that if anyone ever wants to have a conversation with me in terms of thoughts about like strategy and marketing, sales kind of process, anything like that, I've always got my phone with me, happy to take calls and provide a bit of support anytime, because I just really enjoy it, to be honest. So if you need any help, just reach out to me and I'll be delighted.
That's amazing. What we'll do is we'll put all those links on the group to, not only to your organization, but also to those that special offer. Thanks for coming on today. I mean, your enthusiasm's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I ruined your presentation about 4 times.
You didn't. You didn't ruin it at all.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut next week.
It's quite amazing how that worked. I like it.
Anyway, sorry about that. But thanks very much for coming on. You've been great. Thanks everyone for the questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. We'll see you very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Emma.
Bye.
Hi, guys. So before we go, that's another one down, Dom. Another one done.
It is indeed episode 17 done. I still look bright red. It's really embarrassing, but it's been great, and we've had some nice conversation in the group, in the chat, which I've been able to keep an eye on. We've had lots of people watching on LinkedIn this time as well, which has been really nice. And I know you've got people watching on YouTube, which is always good.
Yeah. Hello to all the YouTubers.
Absolutely.
So yes.
So, Neil, as always, tell us, what have we got coming up?
Okay, so we are going to a bee fair on Thursday. I'll put a link in the group directly as soon as I come off this, and let you guys know about how you can log on. It's free to come and join in. We've got some amazing things planned on it. You're going to love it, I tell you. And then next Thursday, where are we up to? Yes, Tuesday, we've got Mia Butler. Yeah, Tuesday, we've got Mia Butler on, who's going to be giving us a masterclass on why video is a must-have sales tool. I think Mia's in the group. Hi, Mia. Looking forward to talking to you next week.
She is, although I'm not here for that one, which is a real shame.
Which is going to be interesting with me, if it's going to be me doing all the technical stuff.
As it stands, I'm not able to join you next week. So if for no other reason, Mia is really good and she talks really well about video and how she uses video and also her business. And you can find her lots on LinkedIn. However, even if Mia wasn't coming on, I would absolutely tune in for the comedy factor of Neil having to push the buttons himself.
Yeah. You might. Well, all I'm saying is, Dom, if I do a good job, you might be sacked.
Well, Who knows?
no chance of that, mate. And then the following Tuesday, we've got. I'm really delighted to announce that we've got Emma Cartmel on the show from the CHS group. That's going to be a really interesting show, because Emma's going to be telling us all about, bouncing back and coming back with positivity about all the things that have, been happening, the show being cancelled, etc., things she's gone through to get where she is now. And Emma's a great person, a real positive force for this industry. So really hoping that you can all tune into that. It's going to be great.
What date's that?
Anyway, that is on Tuesday, the 30th of
I haven't actually got the graphic up on the screen of all of the shows coming up.
March. God,
I think you meant June. We're well past that.
I did mean June. Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Is that all are they the ones that you've got planned? Just the next two?
They're the ones that we've got planned. Yeah, we're working on the next ones after that. So watch this space, guys. Lots of stuff coming up.
Absolutely. So let's just say thank you. Thank you to everyone watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube. And by the way, please subscribe to the Delegate Wranglers YouTube channel. I've put the graphic on the screen at the Delegate Wranglers. You can also find both Neil and I on LinkedIn. I put our information on the screen just now. Let's do that one more time. I'm at D Compagnoni. Neil is at Neil-Thompson-Event-Manager on LinkedIn. Which I'm just going to do to emphasize the fact that he still hasn't changed it. But we do every single week. Really appreciate everyone who gets involved, who leaves a comment, who leaves us a like, who says thanks after the show, who says thanks during the show. We absolutely love doing these, and we plan on continuing to doing them. So thank you very much indeed for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday at 1:30 with Mia, maybe with me, and if not, Neil pushing the buttons. Thank you very much indeed. Goodbye.
See you guys.